All right, Steeler fans, it's the second half of the Friday podcast, which means it's time for the All Betz Are Off segment, and it's Jeremy Betz joining us once again. What's up, Jeremy? How are you?
I'm doing well. Trying to see if the Steelers can actually win a Sunday night football game this year. We'll see if it happens.
All right, well, let's get it out of the way. All signs point to Russell Wilson being the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Just your knee-jerk reaction to that. What do you think?
I don't think Justin Fields played to a level that would have closed the door on that conversation. And so I think Mike Tomlin, in how he views the team as a defense that's ready to win a championship, and maybe, just maybe, if they can get some efficiency on offense, that defense can take them all the way. I think that's how he views the team, and I think that's what informs this decision from his perspective. And so I see exactly why he would want to make the move. Now, I don't see the team that way, so I would disagree with the move. I think you have a better shot at figuring out what you have in Justin Fields if you play him all year, and moving forward, can he be the guy for you? I don't think he's shown that through 6 games either, that he's necessarily worthy of a contract extension after this season. So give him a chance to prove it or not prove it, because I don't think either way, with either quarterback in the game, that you're winning a championship this year. Just because there's too many pieces missing on offense, too many injuries on the offensive line, not enough weapons in the receiving room, too many issues on that side of the ball to get it done this year, even if Russ is your starter. So in my opinion, it's a mistake from that angle. But if you come at it from the perspective that Mike Tomlin probably is, which is, I've got a championship defense, if the offense just doesn't screw it up and they can be a little bit more efficient, then we can go somewhere. And if that's what you want, then Justin Fields has not been efficient as a passer, and maybe Russell Wilson can come in and be a little bit better there.
See if you agree with me or not here. I don't think that even if Russell Wilson is the quarterback and plays the next 6 games, let's say, because that's the same sample size as Justin Fields, I don't think that Justin Fields, the door is closed on him both for the rest of this year, nor do I think it's closed after this year. I would go as far as saying that even if Russell Wilson plays the rest of the games and Justin Fields only plays sparingly, potentially with certain packages in certain situations, that I still think the Steelers would be interested in bringing him back. They've seen enough. They've seen improvement. I think that's really important, is that he has improved. Do you agree or disagree? Do you think that would be a kind of a stalemate after not playing after starting 6 games?
No, I do agree with that. I just don't think that you would bring him back as your guy guaranteed. Like, I think it would be paired with a rookie or paired with another veteran, whether that's Russ again, if he plays well, or whether that's, somebody else out there that could kind of be your placeholder if Fields doesn't work out. It's possible that they could go that route. I don't know if he's warranted that, though, personally, as a passer. Now, as a runner, we all know how special he is there. That's a given. And I'm not even saying that he relies on that too much. I just don't think he sees field progressions very well. And there have been a lot of people come out this week with their film reviews and film studies, and it's a very convincing look at the limitations Justin Fields has as a field reading passer. And now, that being said, can Russell Wilson do that at this stage of his career? Has he ever really been that guy? I don't know about that either. So it's a risk either way with either of these quarterbacks. But at some point, either Fields has to be able to do that, or Russ has to prove that he can't do it either. And so let's go back to Justin Fields with the rushing upside that he gives.
Right.
But as far as next year goes, I think he could still be in the cards as an option, but I don't think he would be the lone option at this point if the Steelers decide to bring him back next year.
I mean, personally, and I said this before we, excuse me, at the very beginning of the podcast, I pull for Justin Fields, not because I'm an Ohio State fan, not because I have a soft spot for him after his time in Chicago. It's all because of his age.
Right.
And I want the Steelers to finally figure this freaking thing out, the quarterback position that is, which they haven't since Ben Roethlisberger retired. And I don't care who it is. If Russell Wilson goes out and lights it up,
Yeah.
and they say, Russ, we want you for 2 more seasons, man. Like, let's have you be the guy. Then yes, finally, let's do it.
Yep.
That's where I am at this point. Some people they're in these camps for whatever reason. Maybe they're Ohio State Buckeye fans, or maybe they're not Ohio State fans, Michigan fans that hate Justin Fields
Right.
and all this. It could be whatever. That's where I reside with this debate. I don't care who the guy is as long as they have a guy. And so that this offseason, we're not scouring for free agents or cheap bargain bin players once again.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, do you find yourself in the same boat, or do you pull for Fields because of the athleticism and the upside?
No, 100%. I am an Ohio State fan, so like I have always admired his game. I've always enjoyed the excitement that he brings. And I will say this: we've talked about it a lot. I was in the camp early on that Justin Fields, with the age and the upside, should probably get a shot this year at some point. But I also said that, whoever it was, like you're saying, whoever ends up playing quarterback, I just hope they're good. And I just hope the Steelers figure something out, not just for this year, but for the future. The best thing that could have happened for the Steelers, the best scenario, was that Justin Fields took this opportunity and absolutely lit it up. And there were moments of just, wow, how does he do that? Like, this is what we want to see. And then there's moments like, man, how do you turn that wide open receiver down in the red zone? How do you miss Connor Hayward standing wide open in the middle of the end zone when your read literally cuts right across his face? It's all the frustration and all of the just the ability that's there. Yeah. And it collides into this just incredible watching experience that you're like on the edge of your seat the whole time. And that's been the Fields experience. That's what it's continued to be. And yes, he's gotten a little bit more consistent, a little more accurate as a passer when he's actually throwing the ball to guys. But he's still turning down too many throws for what I like to see.
And for those that are going to be clamoring for Fields, I do have a feeling you're going to see him again this season at some point. We'll put it that way. Yeah. All right. Let's talk briefly about, and it's crazy because that discussion, that debate that we just had is dominated the Steelers Twitterverse, whatever, social media, and as well as podcasts like this one all week. When here we are, like the Jets are coming to town. Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. Like, this is a really good offense, and the pieces are there for them to potentially have a really good game. But at the same time, the defense, I think, is even better. The defense is phenomenal. And you have a defense that, they have their issues. They're definitely giving up some ground on the ground. They give up 124 yards per game.
Yeah.
This is going to be an interesting game. We'll talk about predictions, but what do you think about this upcoming game?
Yeah, I don't love it for the Steelers. I don't love this matchup. Just with Aaron Rodgers getting his guy back, and it's been 3 years since they played together, so there's no guarantee that chemistry holds over this long. And you've got a different guy calling the plays than when they were last together. Todd Downing taking over for Nate Hackett. But I just think that there's a chance that this Jets team sitting at 2-4, there's a little bit of desperation here for them. It's a big spot, Sunday Night Football. You've got Aaron Rodgers getting his guy back, Devontae Adams. And now Garrett Wilson, who's kind of been blanketed all year because he's the only guy there. Now he gets the 2 corner on every defense he plays. And that's going to be dangerous. And then while I do think the Steelers match up pretty well offensively versus the Jets defense, especially if Najee Harris can come and ball like he did last week, again this week, that Jets front doesn't scare me as much as I thought it was going to going into the year. It's really the secondary and the linebackers that have been exceptional. So can you establish something on the ground, suck those linebackers up, use play action, do what do what Russell Wilson does well with the play action game, and then working down the field. Can you do that enough against this team? And it's a tough spot. It's a tough spot for the Steelers. I think they have what it takes to win. I made the argument that as much as the quarterbacks have dominated the conversation this week, probably more importantly, the Steelers are getting some guys back healthy on defense. Because, Jeff, what have we always talked about? The offense is only a part of this equation. the Steelers, if they're going anywhere in 2024, it's going to be because of the defense. So getting guys healthy, Alex Highsmith, DeMonte Casey, getting those guys back and on the trajectory of getting Nick Herbig and some other guys back as you get closer to the bye, that is more important to me than whoever's behind center.
I agree. Let's do our AFC North picks now, as we'll talk more about Steelers Jets in a little bit. Bengals Browns. We have an interdivision matchup here. This is a 1:00 kickoff on Sunday. The 2-4 Bengals versus the 1-5 Browns. This is a game that if Cleveland even has a prayer of clawing their way out of the hole they've dug themselves into, they have to win this one. You got to win this one. And if the Bengals lose it, they're 2-5, then it really becomes a 2-horse race for the division, in my opinion. This is in Cleveland. Cincinnati is spotting 5.5 points. How do you see this one going?
This one's interesting. First off, it's only the second interdivision matchup in the AFC North this year. Yeah. Ravens and Bengals played a couple weeks ago. Bengals, Browns were 7 weeks in. That's kind of crazy. I don't think I've ever seen that before. But it is also strange that the Cleveland Browns have actually owned this rivalry in the Zach Taylor era. And I think they're something like 5-2 or something like that against the Bengals in this time frame.
Joe Burrow is 1-5 in his career against the Browns.
Yeah, that's right. And I think they won one against the Browns last year with Jake Browning. So that's where the second win comes from. But yeah, the Browns know how to handle this Joe Burrow led attack. So I think this is a really close game. Can you remind me what the line is on this one? I don't know.
Cincinnati spotting 5.5.
Spotting 5.5. That's too much. That's too much for me. I think Cleveland at home comes out and plays ball a little bit harder, especially on the defensive side. And I'm going to say it's a close one, but I think the Browns actually pull this one out. I think that they have a little bit of a resurgence here just because of the history of the matchup. That's where I'm leaning with this one.
So you're taking the Browns straight up.
I'm taking the Browns straight up to win it. Not even on the points. Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to say that the Bengals kind of they're getting their footing. And I do think it's going to be a close game. Yeah. And I would take Cleveland getting 5.5 points, but I'm not going to take them on the money line. I will take Cincinnati. And I think this is just going to start the fire sale that's going to happen in Cleveland. You saw Amari Cooper leave. There could be plenty others that are on their way out. Zadarius Smith is one that a lot of people have rumored could be leaving, the pass rusher. So we'll see. I like the Bengals to win it straight up there. Let's go to Monday Night Football. The Ravens go down to Tampa Bay, 2 4-2 teams. This is a game that on paper, everyone's like, shoot, the Ravens are going to rout them. The Ravens are giving 3.5 points on the road in prime time. But this Tampa Bay offense has been proven to score points, and the Ravens defense has given up a lot of points, which is very un-Ravens like. What do you think about this game?
This one's fun. It's just a fun matchup. It's a two very similar teams, really, with both defenses kind of giving up a lot of big plays in the passing game and both offenses returning the favor. I think the Ravens are number one in efficiency in passing in the league. I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers bring a unique problem when you're facing against them because of the difference that their receivers make on the outside. Chris Godwin is such a playmaker in the middle as a big body guy. And then Mike Evans outside, the numbers just incredible still at this age. And I don't know what to really make of the final score necessarily, but I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be high scoring, but actually I would say that the Ravens probably take an early lead in this game. And maybe it's a couple touchdown lead, 3 touchdown lead, something like that. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers make it interesting at the end, but I don't know what the number is exactly, but Lamar Jackson has an incredible resume against the NFC. I think he's got 3 losses in his career against the NFC. And I don't know what that is, but I think it continues. The Ravens win a close one here.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Ravens lose this game.
Okay.
I think that the Tampa Bay prime time, and again, it will be close. The Ravens giving 3.5, definitely taking the Bucs, getting the points. I think they're a lot better team, the Buccaneers, that is. And I think that the Ravens, they've shown some, we'll say some cracks in the armor at times. These even in the past 4-game winning streak that they're currently on. But hey, call me a homer. That's fine. I am. I'll go with the Buccaneers.
Yeah. Would you say that Baker Mayfield's knowledge of the Ravens is a plus in this game?
I think it is. I absolutely think it would be.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the game everyone cares about, Steelers and Jets. The line that I have, Steelers are getting 2 points at home on primetime Sunday Night Football Week 7 with an over-under of 39. Jeremy, what do you think about this game?
Man, like I said at the beginning, I don't love this for the Steelers. Switching quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers riding the high because he got his guy back. The coaching change, another week under Olbrich and Todd Downing calling plays on offense. I think you see a little bit better scheme this week out of them. I do think the Steelers come to play. I don't think this is like a rout or anything, but it's going to be close and it's going to be low scoring. But I do have just over the over under here. I think I got 42 points going in this game. And I just think that you get these two offenses kind of rolling a little bit at some point in the game, and they're going to have what many in Pittsburgh would consider a shootout of around 20 points, right?
Yeah.
But I just think it's close. But I do think that the Steelers lose their second straight Sunday Night Football matchup, and I'm going to say that the Jets win this game 23-19 over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right, I'm going to say that of course, I think Pittsburgh's going to win. But other than that, Davante Adams coming in is fantastic for the Jets, but I don't think it's going to be fantastic right away.
Okay.
And now all of a sudden, Garrett Wilson is number 2. And so, yeah, you're right. He's going to be matched up on cornerback 2. But how much is Aaron Rodgers going to want to force feed his buddy right as he gets in there for the first time? And how rusty is Davante Adams going to be, who hasn't played in the last 3 weeks due to a fake hamstring injury? We'll call it that.
I mean, his hamstring had to be rough. I mean, it's had to be the roughest injury ever.
Exactly. So I think it's going to be a rocky start for the Jets offense, and they're going to want to throw the ball when in reality they should be really riding Breece Hall and getting him out on the edge. I think that sets up well. If the Steelers could start off quick, it could definitely change how the Jets have to attack this defense. And if Alex Highsmith is back, which we don't know yet, if he's back opposite TJ Watt and Jeremiah Moon's coming in to spell them, I think they're going to put heat on them. I don't like this Jets offensive line. They should be a lot better than what they are. I think Cam's going to have a good game. I think they're going to harass Aaron Rodgers. And I think the Steelers win by a score of 20-17. 20-17 is my score.
Can I say one other thing that might give me some heat as well?
Sure.
TJ Watt's been playing really good football. Obviously, two punch outs last week. 2 punch outs last week. But I think I'm just saying this. I think there's a little bit out there that teams have figured out how to slow him down as a pass rusher. And I think you absolutely need Alex Highsmith back. I think it's more important than ever that you get a guy who's a threat on the other side for TJ to get back. But I need to see a little bit more out of TJ as a pass rusher. And I'm not discounting anything else that he's done. And like I said, I might get flack for this from whoever listens, but I think TJ Watt's got to step it up as a pass rusher a little bit, whether that's the schematics helping him out a little bit, whether that's him just getting after it a little more. I'm not doubting his try or his motor or anything like that, but I need to see some more sacks, TJ. I do. I need to see some more pressure on the quarterback.
Come on, man. I mean, you guys got to go through 3 players before he even gets to the offensive tackle. Like, what do you want him to do?
That's what I'm saying. You've got to figure out a way to get him some one-on-one matchups, because teams have figured out if you chip and chip again, and then he finally gets to the tackle, it's long enough for the offense to do something. It's long enough for the quarterback to do something unless somebody else is bringing pressure. So somebody's got to figure out how to get him in the backfield, pressuring quarterbacks a little bit more consistently.
Well, if they're going to do that repeatedly, I would drop him into coverage more.
Yeah.
Don't send him. Drop him in the coverage. If they have a tight end and a running back's going to that side, drop him into coverage. And then all of a sudden that tackle's like, who do I block? That's when Keanu Benton, Larry Ogunjobi, Cam Hayward, they've got to do their job from the interior. But
maybe
also
a blitzing linebacker too. Yeah.
TJ's not the best at stunts either. Like if you ever notice that, like he wins on the outside only. Like if they could get him to really perfect a stunt, like he used to be really good with Stephon Tuitt. They used to be very good stunting with one another. He's got to get that. If he can get that, that's how you free him up, and that's how you bring a new wrinkle into this. But we'll see. I understand what you're saying. You're going to get hate for it, but that's I'm going to say in the tweet tomorrow for this. I'm going to say Jeremy Betz hates TJ Watt. So listen for that reason. So.
Jeremy Betz needs more from TJ Watt. Put that in the tweet. See what happens.
All right, man. Anything that you want to share with the listeners out there?
Still working on my power rankings for the week, getting that wrapped up. You'll see that here soon. And then just knocking out some podcasts. I've got a special guest. If you missed it on the Q&A last night, I had Jack Sperry from YouTube come on and talk some Steelers. It was a lot of fun, and so check that out. And then definitely check out the Steelers Fix. Andrew and I talked all about the quarterbacks this last week. And then check out the Draft Dynasty podcast for a look ahead at the fantasy football landscape for this week.
There you go. All right, man. Perfect. Thanks for your time, Jeremy. Enjoy the game, man. We'll talk next week.
Thanks, Jeff. Have a good one.